Whew. All right, everyone, let's do this. Welcome, everyone. How are you today? I want to get started right away at noon because I've got a whole bunch of people waiting in a Discord for me. We're going to raid on this week's stream here in just a little bit. I want to thank the fine folks from the Kinship Redemption for joining me here on today's show in just a little bit. But as someone said in Twitch chat just before we went live here, the times they are a-changing. And starting Monday, the time has come for us to do all of our 64-bit server work. We've been preparing for this for a very long time, so have you. Weeks, perhaps even a few months in a few cases, and things kick off on Monday with our name reservations for VIPs. On Tuesday, transfers begin. On Wednesday of next week, our 4 new 64-bit game worlds open. Free transfers continue through the end of August, and there's just a lot we could say about that, and we have been saying about that in recent months. So I'm not going to repeat myself here other than to sort of say, yes, the time has come. We're just about there. Everything kicks off on Monday. You, even after yesterday's maintenance, can see the game worlds in your game launcher, even though you can't access them yet. Can. But besides that, we're ready to rock. That wasn't all, though. This week, yesterday, we were able to release Update 43, Secrets of Utug to the live game worlds. That includes an update to birding, the 13th Legendary Items Reward track, with some changes, say, to the deed panel and classes and instance fixes and a whole bunch of other work that you could find in the release notes. And the release of our raid, which is what I'm going to get ready and get everything working today. Let me see. Okay. Unmute. Undeafen. I think you can hear me. Let me get in game. Hello, somebody in Redemption. Try saying something.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Awesome. I think everyone in Twitch chat can hear you now. How are you doing here today? Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
We're doing well.
I wanted to give you just a chance for a second, as we're kind of getting ready to run this raid and introducing yourself to the folks in Twitch chat. Is there anything you want to say about kind of who you are and Redemption or anything like that?
Yeah, so most of the raiders here are from the lag kinship, not Redemption, but we are in the Redemption Discord. So
Okay.
We are one of the progress groups who try to complete the raid as fast as possible, and we are on Landy. So yeah, we just have a lot of fun raiding pretty much all the time.
Did you complete the raid as fast as possible? Did you get it done last night?
We did finish it yesterday. Yeah, so we've been practicing on Borer as well, so we were pretty familiar.
Okay, all right, good deal.
What was going on?
Before we get going here, we should just mention Tier 1 of the raid is what got released yesterday. Tier 2 opens at noon Eastern on March 13th. Tier 3 is noon Eastern on March 20th. The Leading the Charge deed is available through April 29th. And that's really the relevant info on Secrets of Utug. There's 3 wings to it, and I don't know whether we're going to get all 3 wings done today. I would say that's probably not too likely. Not with me in the group. So we'll probably try to run this a week or two here, and whether that's with you fine folks here or just this week with you folks, and then maybe the general public next week, just do an LFM on the Discord or something like that. Haven't quite decided yet. So we'll see how things go today, and I really do appreciate you being here. So I'm not the raid leader, am I? Gosh, don't make me the raid leader, because we're doomed if that's the case.
No, we should be good.
Okay, all right.
We're all here now, I think, so we can get ready whenever you're ready to go.
Most people will just sort of experience the raid here as we're experiencing it together, but I would just say, you know, we're starting with a bunch of kind of mob waves and things like that, making our way to the main fight in Wing 1. So at this point, really it's just trying to kind of aggro manage and do some light pulling and things like that.
Yep. All right, we're all ready now, I think, so let's start pulling.
Yep. Oof. computer is not liking this. I think I'm stressing out my CPU. Uh-oh. I am. I did. Alright. Sorry about that, people. That wasn't the game client, that was my computer. All of a sudden my CPU just went...
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I might need to lower my graphics a little bit. Actually do that. Just for today. I'll move it to medium here. Just to clear things up. Alright. There we go. I mean, you figure I've got XSplit, which is a little bit of a resource hog, the game client, the actual bandwidth for the pipeline of streaming, plus doing all this for Discord. It's my computer doesn't suck, but I did purchase it in 2018, so it is. Yeah, I know, it's the Windows is going to be the reason I update. I don't know how the game volume is compared to my voice. I don't know if anyone in chat has any feelings about the matter, but if you can either hear the game sound too much or not enough, please do let me know. I would think technically I could probably write off a new computer on my taxes. I would think that would be a legitimate business expense. Alright.
All green.
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So really, this is just a matter at tier 1 here, just kind of providing some super basics, just sort of managing where you're standing as much as anything in this section. Just kind of be careful on some of the pools.
Yeah, tier 1 we can stack these guys up. On tier 2 and higher, we want to split them up when we're fighting. We'll have to swap targets pretty often.
Alright. And, yep. When that's the case, you just got to take down the ads.
Yeah, we'll just be swapping between the wargs and the boss.
Yep.
As it goes on.
And you're just grouping them all up together, huh?
Yeah, on tier 1, they don't buff each other enough to worry about too much.
Okay.
Wash puddle.
Okay, I have increased Volden's voice chat audio just a little bit, based on a recommendation from Twitch chat. I'm going to see real quick, and I know I'm just kind of standing around in the middle of a raid here, but let me cut my video on Discord and see if that perhaps helps things out a little bit here. You don't really need to see my XSplit video.
I think so.
Yeah. Woohoo! Are we all rich?
That one doesn't drop too much, but we did get a vivid, which is pretty nice. And a couple of cold irons. Just one.
Nice.
It's definitely worth farming at tier 1 this raid, so we'll be in here a lot, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
online
you know,
as
we
well.
we wanted to try to the best every time we make a raid. We try to make a raid that's as much for everyone as possible. But you always have to make choices between, I guess, what you might call pretzel or popcorn raids and more hardcore sort of. You're gonna have to work your butt off to get this done, and to some extent, that's what our tiering system is also about. But this raid in particular, we tried to find a balance between this kind of just really pretzels and pop kind of fights, and then more difficult mechanical fights. And we'll see more of that as Tier 2 and Tier 3 comes out. But Tier 1 has always been really the, hey, let's have fun raiding as a group difficulty. And that's sort of by design. You can all hate each other on Tier 3. That's what I'm saying. Tier 3 is all about hating each other. So. We would have succeeded if our gosh darn healer hadn't been so terrible. That's what Tier 3 is about. No, but to be real though, Tier 3 is obviously for the practiced, and for those who, like the group who's raiding with me today, you know, people who actually do progress in progression style raiding and take it real serious. So. So this is the big time. Can I ask? I guess anyone either in the Discord or in the chat room as well. Have you pretty much just been dealing with your houses and stuff all week, or are you pretty much just waiting till figure out if things settle on Wednesday and then deal with it then? What's your game plan? You been busy doing stuff? I myself have to admit I'm moving this character Stampion to well, keep going back and forth. I think actually I'm moving this character Stampion to Paragon. But most of my characters on most of the other 32-bit game worlds are just going to stay there because I want to have characters that I can hang out with for events and things like that. And most of my mains are only a couple of them, really, to begin with. And I'll just take them and bring them to the 64-bit worlds. And because I work for the company here, I'm less concerned about housing and stuff. I'm just mostly leaving that on its existing world. I'll do the auto transfer thing for Stampion here. But that's somewhat unique to someone who is literally in charge of generating point scales. Perk of the job, as it were. We have not decided against a housing carry-all sale, although as you have noticed, and I regret to inform you, we were not able to get it done in time for the transfers this week. I don't really know the story about why it wasn't able to get deployed yesterday, but I know that for whatever reason, the intention was to have one this week, and then it didn't happen, so I can't really speak as to any technical concerns or the rest, other than to say we're aware of your desire for us to do it. And yes, I am playing on Manager here today.
That's boss 2. I don't know how much of an explanation you want of each boss, Gord, or if you want
yeah, why don't you take a minute to do that if you don't mind? That would be great.
Alright, sure. This boss is one of the more difficult ones on Tier 1, just because it's got a bit of a mechanic that you have to succeed at. There we've got these two bosses here. One, I guess, mini boss, and Malichon, who's the main boss. We will kill Kanashu first. I'm going to tank them both at the back there, pretty much where they are now. Once Kanashu dies, the tank will get a fear that they have to cleanse on the group, and then the group will be able to damage Malichon. We will do a lot of damage to Malichon at that point. Hopefully we'll kill him before we need to do anything else, but throughout the fight he'll summon spirits, which one of the tanks will grab. Today that'll be me, away from Malichon, because they will buff Malichon. And if they build up too much, then the group will have to switch to the spirits to finish them off before going back to the main boss. If we take too long as well, the middle will fill up with a big puddle and we'll have to move to the edge of the room and back and forth as the fight goes on. That just kind of repeats forever, but hopefully we'll get him down pretty quickly here.
In my experience, you really do want to take care of those ads.
Yeah, the spirits will definitely get them away from the boss, but hopefully we won't have to swap to them today. Alright, we are all green, so I'll do a countdown. Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, now she's down.
Healthy.
I don't think I got the fear. I think we got it. Okay, breaking eggs. So he does this induction for a long time, which is free DPS time. It looks like we're going to get him down before we have to worry about the spirits.
I did pretty good here on this first run. Look at that. Woot woot.
Very nice.
Gosh. Y'all made it look easy. I don't think it'll be that easy on tier 2 and 3.
The strat stays pretty similar.
Yeah.
Hopefully we try and do as much damage as possible in that grey bar induction. And the rest of the fight gets much shorter. Alright, that's it for Wing 1.
Yep.
So we'll open up Wing 2 here in a second. Everyone's out.
As you enter Thuhin, the lair of the children, the smell hits you. Dust.
Just so you know, you all are getting some very kind words in Twitch chat. Top 1% of players is what I hear in Twitch chat. So.
You can hear two Utugi arguing amongst themselves, their voices echoing through the musty.
So if you're in the top 1% and I'm in the bottom 5%, that averages us out to somewhere around the middle, I think. So.
This is the average group experience, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, while we're just taking a minute to get ready and everything, let me mention a few other bits of news. I did want to call out that birding has been updated, so very not raid-like, although perhaps something you can do while you're waiting for a raid. We do have more than 100 new birds to find and 9 new territories. More relevant to the raiding experience, our 13th Legendary Items reward track is underway. And with transfers, this puts us in a very unique position with the Legendary Items reward track. I talked, I guess, maybe a few weeks ago how we had to consider how we want to debut this track in the middle of these transfers, you know, because these things sort of just roll on their own time frame. And so what we ended up doing is extending the 12th track out a little bit and then opening up the 13th just before we go live. And to some extent, we had a little bit of feedback of like, wait, you did what? Why would you open a new reward track right before server transfers? Well, here's the reason. We had a lot of conflicting beliefs about what was going to happen and what was going to be good or bad or all the rest of that sort of thing. One of the bad being, what if people transfer and don't claim their stuff? Especially with the timing all up in the air, with which is with the 12th and the 13th, and one's going to do what. We were afraid that if people didn't claim their rewards and then transfer, all that stuff's just going to be lost, and we didn't want that. So it was better to really let people get 2 shots at this relatively early stuff for the most part. So that you can, let's say, like right now on Landreval, I'm earning things. When I transfer, it's going to be a fresh track, so I can re-earn that stuff. That's a better outcome, ultimately, than having a lot of people who potentially will have not claimed their 12th stuff. And so we sided on that one, too. Now, I don't know. The general feeling, and general data, the vast majority of players will not be completing this reward track between now and Wednesday. But that's not to say there won't be people grinding their faces off on it. And that, I guess, is fine, too. We're just going to have to be okay with that. So I don't know, how far in a week do you get on the LI reward track? Are you all the way at the end? Do you get all the way to the end of the reward track? In a week? I don't. But, yeah, I don't sit there, say, kind of grinding it, so.
I do know some people that have already finished it.
Really? Already finished it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, if you're doing it in 24 hours, I don't think there's much of anything we can do to slow that one down, other than maybe do things that would make you very unhappy if we had to. But certainly I don't think that's the average.
There are some people who still have all the tokens from
the
changeover.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Right, this is next boss.
I hope you'll like the stuff twice.
So this is a healing boss. We start off with a bit of a simple DPS check against Cal Blag, and then we go into a phase where Legolas will be on the altar, and we have to heal him up to full, as well as keeping the menders around the room healed up. So this will be mainly on our healers to get us to the end of the fight. During that time, everyone else will be making sure the menders don't get killed, grabbing aggro on things, and finishing off the fight. We won't kill Daikag. I think he's immune to damage, so just kill ads while the healers are getting everyone up, and yeah, should be pretty straightforward.
Yep.
The fight will kind of just end abruptly if you're not paying attention to Legolas's health, and the healers will be making sure that goes up as fast as possible. Alright, we're all green, so I will head in, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, actually, I think he talks.
There was a little bit of drama.
Yeah. So we'll just burn Cal Black down here.
Always spoiling my fun. I trust you can handle these wills, brother.
Question from Twitch chat. I don't know if you want to address it. How many healers do you think you need for this raid? Is 2 the right answer?
Yeah, we've been planning on 2, but you could definitely run more for this fight and finish it faster. But yeah, it's not really, it doesn't seem necessary to run more than 2.
Lost eruption.
Depends.
The answer as to what classes I prefer for healers are the other players' classes. I do not want to be responsible for healing a raid group. That would be a bad idea for the most part. I'm sorry. I just being honest.
I think any of the healers would work well in this fight. Alright, here we go. So now we've got the phase. We just have to heal Legolas, so just kill ads when we can.
Lost it.
For every drop of blood spilled, you will be avenged tenfold.
Ender's put these nice green squares on the ground, so
Yep.
you can heal up the group.
Close and be restored.
Legolas is almost full. There we go. That's it.
Your healing.
Yeah, I assume the answer is Minstrel is still probably the healer kings at the moment. Maybe I'm wrong.
Runekeeper's probably on the top of the pile at the moment, but
Yeah.
everyone else is pretty similar, or at least Bjorning and Minstrel are fairly similar in terms of output.
Yep. Is there a kill priority order for trash mobs? I think that's being established by groups as we speak, but I would think the taller, those taller orc things would probably be target number one, right?
Yeah, anything with a lot of health.
Yep.
Pretty much. Just kill the things with a lot of health first. The other things will die to AoE as you do it.
Urashi gut slashers.
In that particular fight, the assassins are also very high priority. They're not mezzed.
That's true, yeah. When you're in the boss, there's some different priorities because they will do a lot of damage to ninjas. Oh, sorry.
Oops. We are obviously very hopeful that everything goes really well next week. We have been doing, an insane amount of planning and preparation to try to make sure everything runs as smooth as possible. That's part of why we're doing the transfers on their own day. Because I would caution you that especially this first part of the week next week, I would imagine our character transfer service to be hit harder than perhaps it has ever been hit in the history of the Lord of the Rings Online. So, we'll see, is I think ultimately where we land on that. But we've certainly prepared to be able to handle as much traffic as our infrastructure is able to support, and make sure that everyone has a rock solid good experience. And so far everything is looking really good for next week, so fingers crossed, and let's hope. But I would also say that if normally it takes literally a minute or whatever to transfer your character, and it takes 5 or 10 next week, that wouldn't surprise me at all. So I know that there was a lot of forum questions that really have come up in the last day or so, which come down to, does it matter who transfers first or who logs in first? And for almost all of those answers, the answer is it matters who logs in first. I actually am not aware, I guess, of a thing that really is determined by who transfers first. It really is determined by login. We also had a question come up in the past 24 hours about the 25-slot personal housing chest and how transfers relate to that, because there's some concern that you really should clear that out before you transfer, and our guide doesn't specify that. So I did a bunch of digging on that yesterday, and it should go into your personal housing storage upon transfer. That so you don't technically have to clear that chest out. But that public concern and some of the player guides out there that urge it are due to some long-standing history we have had where during times of particular heavy load, like say when we've been DDoS attacked, or things like that, things have occasionally gone missing from the 25 slot chest over the years. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened, especially during periods of heavy load, and so that is why the community-run guide writers included that information. And then when it was brought to my attention, I was like, wait a second, it's not actually mandatory, is it? No? And it's like, no, it isn't. It'll just go into your housing, your personal housing storage and come with you, just like you would expect. However, the player advice still might be sound, because I would imagine if we are under a situation of heavy load, if at any point that's going to happen, that's going to be next week, right? So, might be worth doing. At this point, I don't know that I can get the guide rewritten, copy localized in that in time for Monday. So I guess I'm just having this conversation style with you now. And ultimately the answer is it should be fine. But that's sort of the history of why that one exists and why it's been a point of confusion and such over the past 24 hours.
So this is the second boss of Wing 2. Starts off with some trash waves, so we'll clear those out first. When we clear those trash waves, we'll get a buff that boosts our damage quite significantly, so that'll help us get through the 600 million health that he's got. And when he comes out, we'll just focus him down. He's got some puddles that appear around the place, and he's got a skill that does a big raid damage hit that you can go over and grab a skill from this statue over here to protect yourself.
Yes. Right. Can you explain that real quick, actually? Because that is pretty vital. Maybe not on Tier 1 so much, but really, yeah, even on Tier 1.
So I believe the skill is called Whisper of Blood. It's a grey bar induction that the boss will do. And before that happens, there'll be a kind of shield puddle, similar to things like Wretched Falconers or something like that. Or the other skirm lieutenants that have them. There'll be a shield puddle that spawns here. One member of the raid runs over and grabs a skill from that, a temporary skill, and they can use that to protect the raid from Whisper of Blood. I don't know if we're going to do that on Tier 1, but on Tier 2 that'll be probably quite important to do.
Yeah.
Fair rest.
Your turn, man. There'll also be some ads that come up with the main boss, but again, they're not. In general, we'd want to split them up, but on Tier 1 we'll just keep them stacked kind of in the middle of the room here. So here we've got the final blessing. I think it's worth 4 times extra damage, 6 times extra damage. There we go.
I'm delaying with these about 10 seconds here. Buffing now.
Yeah, so what you were just saying is these
these
things around us right now, we would normally want to peel those off, right?
Yeah. Your AoE top mid. There's that Whisper of Blood puddle. Put some fire puddles around here as well.
Yeah.
We might just have to be moving off to the side in a second here. Here are the stun puddles. A lot of area denial in this fight. Swapping around. Right, more ads coming in. finish the boss off again. There we go.
I would say that we've been getting ready for next week, this week as well, by opening up a bunch of forums and getting the Discord ready. So if you're on the forums, as of this week, we have all the new server forums there. And they also created a forum specifically for 64-bit stuff. And the idea behind that is I'm expecting we'll have a lot more activity on the part of people who don't normally post on the forums and in Discord next week, as they are like, wait a second, what do I actually have to do? Oh my gosh, I haven't actually been paying attention until just like right now. So what do I need to do? And that's totally fine. That's expected, you know. So, but we are going to have to accommodate all these folks. So what we've done is open up new forums on the forums, and in the Discord we have a channel, 64-bit server chat. Any question you have, before you do anything, if you hear anything, if you see anything, if the rumors are flying, whatever's going on next week, head on over to the Discord, place number 1, head on over to the forums, place number 2, to get all these questions answered. And between the community and myself and our team of volunteer moderators in the Discord, we're going to try to do our best to make sure everyone in real time gets everything answered and done that they need to get done. So I myself am not, I'm going to be working. It's this weird kind of community manager working, not working, where I'm only kind of working, but I have to be here doing stuff, so it counts. Pretty much all night, every night next week. There's no I'm working from 10 to 6 or whatever next week. 10 to 7. Reality is like 8 to 10. But whatever. Yeah,
Right,
next week is all just doing
Good
stuff. So, but that does mean we're going to be around, and so will others besides myself.
Let's come back.
Oh no.
Should be DNFs around.
Hey, Res, or swing.
This is the side boss. He is
Gash.
quite dangerous, even on tier 1. His gash
Yes.
ability, damage. And he's also got a lot of health, so it
Yes.
takes a while to go down. But you need him for the deed, if you want to do that.
So Fairdold, speaking of deeds, when is the deed log going to be fixed? We have work for our next game update. I don't know if that's going to be next week or the week following. It all depends on really kind of what comes together when. But we do have fixes for the deed log. I know that there is going to be... I have heard that there's going to be work done to fix the issue where you can't escape out of the deed log right now. And I know that the feedback we've received in the past 24 hours is being considered as well. So anything really further than that I can't speak to on this Friday. But I do know that we have certainly seen your feedback about the deed log. So, oops. I should just stay back.
That gash ability has some decent range, and it will kill people.
Yes.
I think you should
Gash.
gash now. Yeah, the retreat's not very far away.
Oh yes, we are also very much investigating the issue where... Well, I can only speak to really what the public feedback on it is at this point, which is that it appears that completing a deed, some subset of some deeds, is causing a game crash. And we have our engineers
Oh, like this.
delayed
Oh.
blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just grabbed it and crashed
Yeah,
right as he
crashed.
said that.
Oh, did you? Well,
Perfect
I'm so
timing.
sorry. Yeah. Okay, well, that is what we are investigating. We have had the engineer who's been doing much of the deed log work, working on that all throughout the afternoon yesterday. I don't know where we are as of today, but I know that that is clearly a high priority fix for us. And it'll be presumably fixed in the next time we do a game update.
Killing that guy is a deed completion, so that will be why.
Yep.
Just go ahead and hop out of Wing 2.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We'll go into Wing 3 in a
Yep.
second. Once we're all back in.
Yeah, unfortunately, so with the deed log, I guess both good and bad, is it isn't universal. It is not crashing on every deed completion. So that's the good. The bad, of course, is that it is crashing at all. At this point, like I said, I can't speak to the state of the engineers' work, so I don't know if we fully know what's going on and have a fix in place or what. But I know we've been doing that work, so. Well, hey, if on this pace, we might, in fact, get through all 3 wings here. And if I need to go, let's just say, 10, 15 minutes over, that's fine. Any longer than that, and I'm eating into a meeting I need to be into. But other than that, it's fine.
The next wing is not... There's not as much trash, so...
Mm-hmm. If I run this raid next week with a regular pickup group, it ain't gonna go this nice. Let me just say that for the record. So it's not opening the deed. At least it doesn't appear to be that opening the deed log is the issue. It appears to be, at least based on what I heard as of about 6 o'clock last night, appears to be related to completing some subset of deeds, whether it's an accomplishment type or just some series of deeds that didn't get a proper flag of some kind. I don't know yet. But something like that is the issue. And we're working to track it down and resolve it as soon as we can. Yusuf in chat wants me to ask you, are you going for world first? Although I think that means that that's already happened, right? I mean, all the world firsts in T1 are certainly done at this point. I haven't been seeing a lot of people extolling that accomplishment on the forums yet. So I think it's what, mostly tier 3 that people
I'm not
about?
sure people are tracking world first for tier 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be logging in when the raid releases on tier 3 and going for it.
There is a long-standing issue, I would say, as well, and this is one that we are aware of and is on that same engineer's plate, which is that whenever we release a brand new Legendary Items reward track, the very first time you try to log in after we release a LI reward track, the game client crashes upon initial load into the game world. And that is what's used to be called a data bloat issue. Basically, we're trying to fit too much stuff into too small a pipe. And it's one that has been perplexing in terms of its solution for a while now. So that one we know about. On the plus side, it's just the one time when we release a new LI reward track, and then you just log in again and it's fine. But that one we know about. The stuff with the deed log is different in terms of the crashing. All right.
In.
It also used to be called the double login bug, if you ever remember that one. The double login bug is sort of a similar thing where basically just too much is trying to be loaded, I think, into a time-sensitive time frame. Or something like that. An engineer could speak more accurately to it.
Alright, we're all green. We'll open.
Behold,
There
my
we go.
lord Azadai. This is the small guy.
I will free Gaia, consume its power, and become Morgoth's new manifest.
Yes, my
Actually, I see an OG of the Witch King in our chat. Is that you, Valden? No, that's someone else. Geists.
There are
Congrats.
The Gwethrenost.
others who followed me across the valley. You are
I don't have many titles on this guy. This is my
offering is
alternate guardian.
Yeah, yeah.
I will carry Natafal to the sarcophagus.
Go! I will end their interference. Now and forever.
Alright, so this is a pretty simple boss on tier 1.
Yep.
Azagath will have 3 shadow versions of himself. We're just going to stack up and kill them all at the same time, really. So, nothing too dangerous. There's a throat cut bleed that goes out on people. Again, it's not that dangerous, but something for the heals to watch out for. Alright.
So in my experience, we should probably target Malice first, but I don't guess it doesn't matter on tier 1 here.
Yeah, well, just whatever Ivo decides. We can target that one. Alright, we're all green, so going in. Can't remember if he does talking. No. Make sure we're kind of grouped up so the cunning stays close. Your turn, buddy.
I know, my computer is really disappointing me today, unfortunately, in my game performance. You're right. There's some. I'm sure there's some tweaking I can do on my advanced graphic settings and that will improve things dramatically next week. But I don't want to sit here on the air in the middle of a raid trying to mess with graphic settings.
I'm getting really lucky with loot today.
You had another one?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I have no idea if it's what I need, but
Alright, I just turned off post-processing. That'll make a big difference for the last few minutes here.
got a few waves of trash to get through here.
Yeah.
Here they come.
So you do want to take care of these poisonous nodules when you can. Ultimately, they will kind of grow and spread if you
Oh, the noodles.
take too long.
Okay.
There we go. Advice from chat on my system settings to deal with my game performance issue. Thank you. Appreciate it.
One more wave.
I will say that longer term here, I was talking with Ryan this past week about the next sort of letter to the players. You know, he had talked earlier this year, you know, start of the year here, well, I guess, late December, that we're looking at roughly something like quarterly, and so that's been about a quarter away. And so I know that Orion's working really to take a look at these late spring, summer months, and the next letter to the players, and that's looking really good. I think you'll be excited. We're actually dropping some pretty good news, I think, in our next letter.
So there's quite a bit that goes on with this boss.
Yes.
The boss fight is in two phases. So the first phase we'll be fighting some Rogmal, two of them, and the tanks will need to swap them between us, between the two tanks that we've got here, just so the tank debuff doesn't get too high. We also have some skills that can get picked up. So there's a skill over there in front of Glorfindel. I'm not sure who wants to go grab that, but someone will who is in a tank. And that has a use in Tier 1, and I honestly couldn't tell you what it is. It does something.
My understanding is among the things it does
blisters.
is it helps cleanse you from the effects of the sort of poison
despair or
spirits.
something like
yeah.
the true despair.
Yeah.
So if you want to use that skill, you got to stand next to Glorfindel to do it. we're going to stack up the 2 bosses and fight them here. There will be things called plague storms and umbral storms that get spawned on people. You get an eye and then you'll drop it. If that's close to people, it will explode and do some decent damage, but again, not too much to worry about on tier 1. You can just kill them with AoE. Then the boss will phase, and we'll fight Azagath in the middle of the room. He will have a couple of things that he does. First thing is a bit of an intermission. There'll be a whole bunch of skills on the ground here in front of Legolas, I think is who comes in. And those skills will be used to stop the fragments of despair turning into blisters of despair. And those ones are important to use, so we'll get a whole bunch of those skills to be able to use. When they grey bar induct, you've got to use the skill and they'll destroy themselves when they finish. Then we fight the boss. There'll be more fragments throughout the boss fight if you let them happen. Obviously there's that true despair debuff, but also Azagath gets some buffs from consuming those blisters of despair, so stopping them turning into blisters negates that. He'll also have some lines that he spawns in like 8 compass directions out from him. If you get hit by those lines, then you will spawn something else that spawns more lines. So don't get hit by the lines. I'm actually not sure.
It'll get pretty nuts here if you go bad. This is one where you can find yourself slowly crumble to dust.
Yeah, so just avoid the lines and we should be fine. There's mushrooms that spawn a little puddle around them. You can avoid those. And yeah, just the fragments. But it should be fairly straightforward here as we go through. So if someone wants to go pick up that Glorfindel skill.
So I have not yet run this on, this is my first time running this on the live game worlds, but I ran it during production. At one point, a whole bunch of those things were spawning around. Oh, the buffs.
Yeah, halfway through the fight.
Okay.
Oh wait, which ones?
That buff that we're just talking about here in the corner. I can't think of the name of it.
Yes.
But those will spawn all over the map, and the whole party should really go grab one when you've got it, because they're kind of key to fighting all the blight and everything. So
yes, once we kill these 2 Rogmal, Legolas I think will come in, and there'll be 8 or 10 of them spawning on the ground, and we can go grab them at that point. I think Gandalf also has a skill at some stage that you can pick up. Alright, I'll do a ready check. Just missing one. Alright, we're green. So we're going to run in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, thanks.
Dodge the blisters. Alright, take the bosses, man.
Try to move a little closer to Glorfindel.
Get closer to Glorfindel. Okay.
Only a 60-meter range.
Oh, true.
Okay. Guys coming in.
Big boss mini. That's phase 1.
Stand fast.
we really want to take that plague storm down too. The plague storm is down.
So now we should be getting some skills from Legolas.
Yeah.
Pick one up. We should be getting fragments of despair. So if you see a fragment
Yep.
and it's inducting, we can kill them, but using a skill next to the fragment while it's inducting will mean that it doesn't become a blister when it finishes. Probably kill this one here. So hopefully we won't let any of them turn into blisters. This one. This one's a blister. Kill this blister over here.
Alright. Yeah, that one nice and easy. If you don't do what we just did here, and those things start multiplying and spreading across the
Both these.
stage, it can get real ugly real quick, so...
Yes. And Garrosh will use them to give himself lots of corruptions, meaning we don't get to damage him. Someone go grab the Gandalf skill.
Don't get hit.
Alright, more fragments are out. Mushrooms. More fragments. Mushrooms. Watch out for lions.
I think I wasn't close enough to use the skill on this thing. Here we go. It does have a fairly close, looks like melee range.
You pretty much have to be in that
Yep.
little square that it puts out.
Yep.
More fragments behind the boss. Lion. Mushrooms. So here Garrosh would be consuming any blisters that we let spawn. And he'd be getting corruptions based on how many he gets. But I think we've done a good job, so no corruptions on the boss. At some point soon here, Gandalf and Glorfindel will start doing their chants. Lions. Mushrooms.
Oathies.
Fragments of Despair. Yeah, that's like the generic chips that you got because you wanted to save yourself a couple bucks. And they're just dry and terrible.
There we go. That's the raid.
Somehow they're both greasy and also super dry, like cardboard. Awesome. Awesome, everyone. Wow. You made that look easy.
That's the idea.
Yeah. We even got it done in in less than an hour here. So, well, thank you very much for joining me here today. I really do appreciate it. To everyone. So, okay, so are you doing recruiting? Do you want to put out a call or anything like that, or what's the deal? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in rating at a high tier, then you can always send myself a message. I think we've put out things around the place where you can contact us. But yeah, we're on Landy going to Peregrine at this stage. So if you're heading that way, then we're always open to having people sign up for.
And to be clear, this
trial.
isn't just looking at any warm body here. This is you got to know what you're doing, kind of a thing.
Yeah, we'll probably be looking at people who've done tier 5 of the last raid before. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, you made it look easy. And thank you, everyone in Twitch chat, for joining us here today for Court of the Rings. I'll be back next Friday. Well, we might do more rating. We might do something else. We're just going to kind of play it by ear. But I did want to maybe just do a pickup group, just any warm body. Let's check out the space and have some fun in here next week. So maybe we'll do that next week as well. However, next week is such a big week for everybody, with our 64-bit game worlds launching with VIP name reservations on Monday at noon Eastern, transfers on Tuesday at noon Eastern, Wednesday 1 p.m. Eastern, our 4 new game worlds open. We have so much information on Lotro.com to take a look at, so please do take a look at that and join us over in the Discord in real time if you've got any questions here over the coming days and weeks about the server transfer process. Let's keep our fingers crossed, hope for the best, and we'll see you next week with a very different looking Lotro, huh? So, see you soon, everyone. Thanks.